Hi, Thumos gentlemen. Welcome back. Today we're going in, so grab your swords, get ready, because we're going to need to cut some things. We're going to need to get through some things, all right? And it's going to need a sharp blade, and it's going to need you to be present of mind. It's going to need you to be rock solid, all right? So get ready. A lot of you have probably heard of the archetype, a belly of a whale. Okay, it originally for me started when I heard the story of Jonah. And Jonah said, God said, Jonah, I need you, man. I need you to go to Nineveh. I need you to help the people there. You got to spread the word. And Jonah said, God, I can't do it. I cannot do it. I got to go somewhere else. All right, not for me. So what he does is he gets on a ship and he hightails it out of there. He says, I'm out of here. He gets on the ship. He's out on sea, and it starts storming. The worst storm they had seen in a long time. Jonah knows. He's like, this is God, man. This is God. God is doing this to me. God is trolling me right now. And he tells the shipmates, he's like, all right, you guys got to throw me overboard or everyone's going to die and drown. And they're like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, just do it. Just do it. They take Jonah, they throw him overboard. Here he goes. He's in the ocean. And what happens is a giant fish, a whale, comes up and swallows him whole. Okay? He spends 3 days inside the belly of a whale. 3 days inside the belly of a whale. And after that, it spits him out onto land. You see, a lot of us are dealing with our own personal belly of a whale. Okay? I've had mine. It seems like the whales keep coming. Some of them are smaller. Some of them are huge. Right now, in 2020, it seems like we're stuck in what you could call a kraken, or a Cthulhu, or some gigantic creature that we do not see a way out of. We're sort of just submissive to it like this, right? We've sort of put the swords away. We're just, hey, okay, go with the flow. All right, people are rioting, lock your doors. All right, COVID, put your mask on. Quit your job, you gotta stay home. Okay, we're going back to work now. All right, we're trying to make things happen. It's very chaotic. It's very uncertain. All right, the biggest belly of a whale for many of us that are 20, 30 years old is right now happening in this day and age. A lot of times this naturally happens. The first really major big fish that you're gonna deal with is when you move out of your parents' house. And you move out and you literally are in the belly of a whale because you don't have lights, man. Like, you will not be seeing anything if you do not pay your first electricity bill. So then you got to pay that. You got to sort of pay the landlord, start worrying about money a little bit and whatnot. But what ends up happening is you sort of make it out. You get comfortable, right? You get kind of comfortable. You go into work, you clock in your hours, you pay your rent, you get your bills automated online. Everything's kind of secure, okay? But here's what happens. Right as you make it out, you cut the belly of the whale open, you just cut it open, right? Another whale comes along. And this whale is scary. It's terrifying, dude. It really is. This is the realization that life is hard. Life is hard. And it does not care about you. And that's a scary thing. When you realize that no one really cares about you, when you realize nature don't care about you, when you realize nothing is going to just come, that is a realization that every man goes through that can completely break you. And it does. A lot of times, it really does. You will see people, if you go downtown, just look at the people downtown. Some of these guys on the side, some of them are looking right and left at the same time. Some of them have psychosis. Some of them are speaking to themselves. Life has got them. It's beat them up. They're in the belly of a whale. And what happens is when you stay in the belly of a whale for too long, you go insane. You're alone. You're isolated. You haven't seen the sun. You're not doing the work. You're not able to do anything. It doesn't get better. You're stuck. That's actually what some writers, I'm starting to read H.P. Lovecraft, has actually made his writing style famous from a sort of cosmic horror of showing humans, getting them to think about that they are not all that is in this existence. The universe, the what our mind limits existence to by our imagination is not only just about us. It's something far greater, inconceivable. And if there's something out there that does not care about humans and that was to show up today, that would crush us. We would be like ants on the sidewalk. Okay, how would we feel then? What would happen if we learned that truth? And so many of us are pretty smart. You know, you're on this channel, you're probably intelligent, you start to think, maybe you catch yourself in your head a lot. A lot of us have realized the truth that, what are we? What's after this? Maybe we've grown nihilistic. And so the key is to not grow nihilistic, to not get depressed, to not completely be stuck just because of this realization. And that's a very difficult thing. Okay? That's the belly of the whale. That's the kraken that we're currently stuck in. And I truly believe that it's going to take a different type of man to be able to get out of this. Now, you'll see most people will find security and they'll coast. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I feel like they find meaning in things that maybe you don't think they should find meaning in. Maybe it's like, getting drunk or finding love. We seem to try to live our life the best we can, the best of our ability, even with the realization that we are worthless. Right? And you can't blame people who do that how they want to do it. But some of us it's not going to work. It's not going to be good enough to do that. And we've started to realize this. And so what we have to do is become kings. It's the only way. We have to embrace the archetype of the king. You see, but me telling you that to become a king doesn't make sense. Because you can't really act like a king. You actually have to imitate a king. You have to live like a king in order to feel like a king, or you'll just be a faker. For many of us, the king, the archetypal king, is at the highest peak of the hierarchy. He's a king. He's the ruler. But is the qualities and traits of a king reserved for the top of the hierarchy? Can you be a king even at your lowest point, at your lowest state? And I think that there are people that manage to do this. The Buddha, Jesus, there's priests, there's some fictional characters that manage to do this. Someone that has a calm, clear-headed, someone that isn't frantic, frenzied, someone that doesn't always question himself, has doubt controlling his life, kingly in his demeanor, but also not too much, not fake, not too stuck up, not too lowly, not so he's so pious where he loses his backbone. You see, but it takes this, guys. It takes the king, man. It takes the energy of the king. But in order to be like the king, you have, who does the king look up to? Who does the king have to look up to? Everyone in the kingdom, massive responsibility. Everyone's looking up to the king. Who does the king have to look up to? Is it his wife? No. Is it his men? The wise men? No, he doesn't. There's no. Is it the jester? No, keeps him in check. Doesn't take life too serious. Who is it? Well, the king, in order to be like a king, you have to look to someone greater. You have to be humbled to be exalted. If you try to exalt yourself, put yourself on a pedestal, you will be humbled. So you have to look to the King of Kings. The grandness. In realizing, it takes a realization that there is something greater and out of your control. That you, at the end of the day, are a human in what is a human world, But when the realization dawns in you that there's more than just the human world, there's an unknown, there's an abyss, right? There's black swans that pop out of nowhere, COVID, riots, losing your job, your girlfriend breaks up to you. These are black swans, things that happen randomly. You never expected. There's things that you do not get to control. And so when you're left grasping for these twigs, drowning men grasp for twigs, and you realize that they're out of your control, what do? How can you be a king in that moment when you're realizing that you don't have any control? No, most people lose the kinghood. Most people get depressed, man. Most people get sad. They start to question themselves, am I good enough? Will I ever be good at anything? Oh, this one job didn't work out. Oh, man, now what am I going to do? We have to bring back the king energy. And the way that you do that is you have to look to something greater than yourself. You have to just be. You have to just be. And you need to give it up, man. You got to give it up. But me saying this may sound good. And trust me, I deal with this the most. Is that I know that in order for me to remain calm, like the qualities of a king, if we look to good kings, we could say the Mufasa in The Lion King, the good king, the calm, the strong, the clear-headed king. Maybe I can't think of any other heroic or, archetypal kings, but I think we can all agree when the king comes to mind, we think of a man that is wise, calm, stoic, and strong, right? But we cannot remain that way unless we let go. We have to humble ourselves. We have to let go. You see, you'll probably notice in your mother, there's a way or a desire to control everything. There's a desire to manage everything. She'll call you at 3 a.m. She'll ask you who you're dating. She'll do this and that. A desire to control. In the kingliness, there's a allowing. There's a letting go. A surrendering. But who are you surrendering to? Well, you're taking a knee. You're surrendering. You're giving up your control. You're giving up trying to manage everything. You're saying, hey, God, your will be done. Your will be done in my life. And many people can't grasp that, man. I really believe that it takes looking into the void and being horrified by it, trembling that you haven't the slightest clue of what there is out there. And that can scare the shit out of you. And I think that when you begin to realize that realization, I believe that when you start to give up a little bit, you start to give up, you realize, okay, I don't need to be so strung out. I don't need to be so stressed. I don't need to be such an uptight person that I can now be calm. I don't have to freak out all the time. I have to be angry at everyone. I don't have to always give an opinion, man. That's the king. And that energy, the king energy, the one that comes in though, but also takes a stand. That energy is what is needed these days. That is the energy that I believe is going to really puncture that hard, leathery skin, the belly of a whale, and just rip it open and free us. If that prevails among men, then I think that we'll be free. But see, most people aren't going to be willing to let go. Most people don't want to acknowledge anything greater. And again, back to it. You can acknowledge it now here in this 10-minute video, but can you acknowledge it on a daily basis? Can you get on a knee? Can you say, I lay my burdens down. Please help me. Your will be done. Can you remember? Can you have ritual in your life? Can you cultivate king-like energy in your life through your habits, through your rituals, through your routines? Can you let go of trying to be so controlling? And even when you wake up, it's all right, throw the coffee back and get going. And God, man, do this and that. Can you just get up? Can you eat your breakfast? Can you take a deep breath? Can you write in your journal? Can you get on a knee? Can you take some time to meditate? Can you cultivate stillness within your life? And it's so simple. It's so simple. There's simple things you can do, but the world doesn't want you to do that, because then you stop needing stuff. You stop consuming. You stop needing the newest shoes all the time. You stop needing like a lot of stuff. You stop needing. You start being different, man. You start being fulfilled. You start being like literally you lose fear. You walk through a valley and you lose fear in the valleys of life. You go into the whales and you realize it's okay. You lose fear. You're not afraid of this, you're not afraid of that, because you fear the one. You fear the one thing. And that's the beginning of wisdom. In your life, it teaches you that there's nothing else that you need to fear. And you know, our fathers are supposed to teach us this. Our fathers are supposed to hand us the torch, hand us the sword. You know, they were supposed to make us into the knights. Here you go, my son. Here you go. They were supposed to be the original ones that said, hey, you know, they were the kings. They were supposed to teach us how to be like kings. And a lot of us, our fathers, never were there. They never taught us how to be kings because they were controlled by they were afraid. They were controlled by fear. And you'll see it in your life. Your mother probably tells your father what to do. The majority of the time, you know, it happens. Mother has to tells the father what to do. Father's kind of wimpy, kind of just looked like an idiot, kind of just checked out of life. How are we as men supposed to like look to them as role models? So we don't. We're never shown this greater picture. We're never taught about God. The truth. We're never told the truth. A lot of fear controls our life. All right? And it's this king energy that we need to cultivate. From this flows what we need. And that's really it. Okay? So remember, it's about letting go. It's about calmness, surrendering, being still. Being still. Even in the gym, I find myself taking out the headphones and getting present. Getting present with what is happening right here. I have this opportunity to be calm, to almost practice being in the presence. But yet, it's so easy. We have our headphones, we're walking around, you know, take them out, dude. Take them out. Work out without it. Feel yourself struggle. Feel your muscles cry for help, you know, in pain. Feel it. Embrace it. Be calm. Cultivate stillness in your life. Cultivate gratitude every day, man, every day. Like, or you will forget. You'll get sucked back into the belly of a whale. Right when you're making it out, like, I'm free. You just go back in, man. Because the world's pull is so strong. It's so strong. Like, you're walking down this narrow road and it's just trying to pull you off. Trying to get you out of there, man. But no, as men, you have to walk with your eyes forward. Okay? And you have to be able to say no. You have to be able to keep your eyes on the truth. You have to be able to keep your eyes on God. Okay, or you will fall. You will fall. There's no reason not to get nihilistic. You understand? There's no reason not to get down, to just give up. There's no reason not to think that you lack everything that you need to. Right? You could come up with everything, but you have to give up. You have to surrender. Okay? And then you start to live. You start to live it, man, where you start feeling like a king. You start feeling. You don't have to act like a king. That's what Satan did, man. Satan acted like a king. Got thrown out. God's like, buddy. No. See ya. You know, spit him out. Boom. Get out of here. You're not the king. A lot of us are trying to be kings, not living like it. Okay? It's more of a status thing. We're trying to appear like we got our shit together. Like we know everything. Right? Instead of surrendering. Instead of being humbled. It says in the Bible, in Matthew, it says, for those who exalt themselves, they shall be humbled. But for those who are humbled, they shall be exalted. And many of us need to take a knee. We need to be more humble in our lives. To sometimes admit that we do not know. to give up all of our trying to control and micromanage everything. We need to be less like our mothers. We need to let go of, forgive our moms and be like, all right, a lot of us need to start moving out. We need to enter the belly of the whale for the first time. That way we can get going. And guys, just know, like, you're not missing anything. I want to leave you with that. You are kings. Like, do not think that you are missing anything. You're not missing something, man. I don't want to tell you something. Just know this. Like, you're not behind. If you get rejected by a girl, if you lose the job, if you just keep going, we have to have the spirit. You understand? We have to have the high thumos spirit. Fire in the belly, because fire in the belly can make a whale smoke you out. You can cough you out. Fire in the set the thing on fire from within. And that takes energy. That takes fuel, and that's gonna take responsibility to get the fuel. To wake up on time, to not lay in bed, to not be lazy, to be done with the laziness. All right, to be done with the moping and complaining. That takes thumos. It takes fire in the belly, not only in your belly, but whatever demons, whatever whales that you're in. All right, you got to smoke it out, and that's gonna take courage, because guess what? Life is hard. There's no doubt about it, man. It's just, this sucker's hard, but you got a sword, right? And you have strength. You have a good head you have a good mind in there, right? We have to be vigilant. We got to stay on guard. All right, guys? Let's become king. The new month, Monk Mode Box, all about king and living the lifestyle. Hope to see you guys in there. I'll see you soon. Peace.